Hello. Good morning. Oh, let's see. Sorry. Oh my God. There we go. Good morning. I guess we just want to continue on our app today. Let's see the branch. So we were going deep into stuff like dealing with list optimizations. Like you have a data structure in your database which is optimized for querying, but that's typically not the best data structure for optimal rendering. So and again, like we didn't have to do this, we're just doing it because we explore like technical stuff when building apps and kind of going overboard with that. Why the hell doesn't the typing work here? Oh, this is interesting. Is the type service full again? Yeah, so we're just going overboard with that because it's like nice to talk about. Just wonder why the typing didn't work here. Oh, look at that. Failed. It looks like our... Yeah, look at this. Yeah, it's down again. This is super annoying. We have to fix this. We don't understand why this service fills up. Like the hard drive fills up. Oops. And we have no idea why. There's nothing indicating that it should fill up. And we have implemented code. Let's see. Evis. Yeah, there's nothing indicating that. So we kind of, our only option now is to like create a cron job, which just cleans up everything every day. Because there's like, we have no idea. Like we run tests where we install packages, because that's how it works. It installs the package, it extracts the typing and moves the typing to a separate service. But looking at that, we see exactly what files are being created. So like Yarn does some caching, but we clean all of that stuff up. But for some reason, the hard drive on this service just fills up completely and then it crashes. I think I'll have to notify him. Anyways, god damn it. I guess we're not able to really work on this. Because if we don't have the typing, we'll just get a bunch of errors. Or we don't get the errors we want. Which is super annoying. Yeah. Yeah, look at this. I can't work with this without the typing. Let's see if Evis wakes up so he can clean out the thing. Okay, I guess we need to do something else instead then. What should we do instead? And this is really interesting. This is such a big problem. Like you can't work on Codesandbox with TypeScript when the typing service breaks or stops, because then you get all of these errors. So yeah, we have to fix that. But I guess it will get fixed today. We kind of have to do this step by step because we really want to fix it at its core. Like doing like a cleanup every day is like just putting a band-aid on something. It's not really fixing the issue. But yeah, we don't have any other way to deal with this. Cool. So what should we do? Should we fix bug, or I am working on something. Maybe I can show that to you. Yeah, okay. I'll show you something I'm working on. Let's see, VS Code Insider. So I have been reflecting a bit on working so much on development, like developer experience improvements related to typing. But I think like the future is like you still have to write code, but we will create more visual tools around actual concepts that we're coding, like common concepts. So for example, state management, styling, like these very concrete concepts, we will create visual tools around them, and that will produce the code for us. And then we rather consume like components, or we consume state or whatever it is in our actual application code, where we'll still write custom code. Because like there is some level to what we're building that's like unique, and it's extremely difficult to create a visual editor for like unique concepts. You need like a very strong concept, like a game. Like a game isn't just a bunch of code, it's very concrete concepts. You have like entities and like AI scripts and stuff like that. They're concrete concepts which allows you to actually create visual tools that produces the code that actually runs that logic. Anyways, so I've been thinking about this in terms of state management, because that's also a very concrete concept. You have what makes a state a concept is that you have an observable value. That's the concept of state. It's not only just a value, it needs to be observable, because you need to react to it when it changes. That's the thing. It's the reactive nature that makes state a concept. At least in the client. So what I was working on here, let's see if I can fire it up, run extension. So what I'm working on is a way to build your state visually, and then it creates like optimal code for you to consume that state directly in your app. Let's see, not over mine, but it's actually start cat coding session currently. Oh yeah, I have to run the stuff. Let's see. What were the? Let's see. Package JSON. I can't remember what I was supposed to run here. Scripts. There we are. npm run watch, and then we need also running the npm run dev. Okay. So this is a VS Code extension. Let's see, I think I have to start it again. There we are. So this is a VS Code extension that, can I remove? Yeah, I can do this. There we go. A VS Code extension, and the idea is that you can open any project, and then it looks for a package JSON file. And like this extension has like some dependencies it needs. Currently I'm using mobx to create observable values, because it's like I can't use Overmind or Cerebral. They're like frameworks, and they are like state trees. They're not single observable values, but in this concept they have to be. Anyways, so you can basically just fire up the extension, and then you can start working with it as long as you have like a package JSON file. Now, the way this works is, let's see, maybe I can do it from scratch. So let me remove the state there. Let me remove the types here. There we go. So you fire it up, and then you have like state, and then you say, okay, I want a title state. So you just add the title. Oh shit, it broke now. I think it broke because I don't have the, I don't have the files here. I just manually removed something. Let's see, how do I ensure? Oh yeah, I have to delete the file, sorry. Move to trash. Let's see now. Yeah, now it writes the default typing. Sorry about that. Okay, so you just want to add some state. I want to add a title. And now I have a title, and in my app, I'm now able to import that title. Did I actually have an app here? So let's say I have an index file here. And now I can import state from this file that's generated. So you have an app, and you see I have my title here. So I didn't like code this. This is generated code, but I just added my title visually, and now I have that title. And this is an observable state. So when I use this in my React component now, the component will automatically re-render whenever that title changes, which is kind of the whole point here. But yeah, then I can click this title. I should have some more screen space here. Oh, I'm not. Oh, sorry, this was way too big. Let's see. We do it like this. There we go. So the point is, typing is a hell to work with. It's a blast to consume types, but it's a hell to define them. And like that, it's split the experience of typing. You have this one experience where you have to tell like TypeScript about your code, which is kind of insanely annoying. But when you have that typing ready and you start consuming your code, that's where you kind of get the, this is amazing. So in this experience, you visually just say, what is this thing? So you don't think about it as typing, you think about it as defining values. So in this case, the title is a string by default, but I can change it into number, a Boolean. As you can see, based on the typing, it changes the visual editing experience. But under the hood, when it writes the code, it also writes the typing. So based on what you choose here, which is like a natural thing, it writes the typing. So when you consume it, you actually get help in your code. And then what I'm working on now is adding more complex types. So I can add like a dictionary, I can add a record, I can add a list, a sequence. So a dictionary is where all the values in the object are the same. A record, you have like an object where different properties have different types. In a list, you have a list where all the items in the list are the same. In a sequence, you have a list, but the items in the list are different. And it's a set width, like length of the list. And then you have, like this normal stuff. So if I wanted to add, for example, a user, I can do that. I can say the name, and the name is now by default a string, but then I can say like I want an age. The age should be a number. Then I add it, and now I have a user type. So I can like create a current user, for example. And then I can say that's a user. And this is where it breaks currently. But the point is, I really like this concept of, okay, I want to build an app, and you just fire up this extension, and then you start building up your state, and you naturally create the types because you want to kind of insert the values of the state, and then you just start consuming it. It doesn't matter, just import state, and then you start consuming it. And then I have plans to add even business logic here. So you have a concept of effects and actions, but that will take, I know I have a concept for doing that kind of stuff. It's even more complex than state, but it's definitely possible to do that. So then you will kind of add these effects for doing different things, where you have some preset effects which is related to changing the state. And since you have the type, you kind of know what kind of effects fits, like what kind of state changes can you make on different state values, because we have that typing underneath. But you don't think about them as types. I don't even want to call them types here. I want to call them shapes or something. Something like that. And then in your actions, the only thing you do is basically just drag and drop effects in a sequence. And actions are quite complicated because You need to be able to, for example, if one effect returns a value, you want to use that value in some other effect. An effect might return different results, like a success or an error, and you want to run different effects based on the success or an error and stuff like that. But all of this was actually done in Cerebral. Like the Cerebral debugger actually has this concept of a sequence with different return outputs. It handles asynchronous stuff. So I've actually done this before, but I did it from like code first and then visual. But now I'm doing visual first and then code. Anyways, let's refresh this. Oh yeah, I guess it breaks now because I have. Oh yeah, sorry. Let's just remove this state. There we go. Oh, it updated automatically. That's awesome. Yes, so maybe we can fix this so that when I add the user, it actually works. Like it should show a different editor here. So I have this rather big file now that I need to clean up a little bit. But this is the editor for adding the type. And then we have the state editor, where when I click, let's see, I have to get back into this. So we have this state type. Let's call, we're going to create a record editor first. Yeah, so we have types editor. So that's these ones at the top. And then we change the state type. We change the state type by adding the type itself. Oh, we're adding the actual types type. No, we only add the name here. Yeah, because we shouldn't. Okay, so I think there's something wrong here. Because we're just changing the state type, which means that. So what are we changing? We're changing the state. Having a state, it has a type, and that type should be just the name of the type. I wonder why this breaks. Let's see the typing. So oh yeah, because I need to give it the base. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, maybe we should split this up. Because the thing is, if the type is just primitive, like string, number, boolean, or null, it doesn't have a base type. But it might have a base type, which gives it a different name. But I wonder why the hell? Oh, sorry. We do set a name there. Oh, okay, so this is wrong. This should just be, yeah, this should just be a string. We shouldn't set the actual value type there. We should just like give the name of the value type. Yeah, that's the thing that's wrong. So it should be, and then dot name here. Yes, and then type here will not be value type, it will be string. And then the actual type, it should be type name. Let's see, type name. And then the type is actually By the way, I really like the architecture of this app because I wanted to only like be pure React. And like it has inline styling and everything so that it can be easily moved out of VS Code. But it's a complex app. Like there's tons of state and it needs to be managed and all that. Let's see. But I have these really nice hooks that kind of just gives me the type name. There we go. So now we actually get the type definition based on the name instead. That's something we need. And then we check like, is it string? Then the editor is string. And then we have to check if type dot I wonder why it doesn't give. Yeah. Why doesn't it ask me about, what about the base type? Why doesn't that pop up there? Because there can be a base type there as well. Oh, let me fix this one first. State type. Yeah, it's just state type. So I want to type. Does it help if I do this? String, number, boolean. What was the last one? Oh, it can be null. Does it if I do like else? If I don't think TypeScript understands this, is it called exhausting the type? So what that means is, yeah, it just says string here. So it doesn't understand this. How do I get TypeScript to understand? I want to access the base type. Can I say like if base type in type? Does it understand it then? Yeah, nice. Or if there's a base type and type.base type equals record. Oh, sorry, base type.name. Oh yeah, and this is the thing, like a base type is actually an array of types because it's not necessarily, so so a value can be, for example, either a string or null, or it can be a string or a number. And this has to be reflected in the visual tool. Like this stuff is super complex. So if I say that, okay, this should be ABC or 1, 2, 3, for example, then this has to be reflected in the visual tool and it also needs to be written down into the code as typing. And I thought a lot about this. How do you create like a visual editor? Because you don't only have string or number. You can also say things like user and super user, for example, which is like a complexity in itself. So it's really, really tricky to find a good data structure that can reflect these types, that supports building a visual UI and writing the types down into the code. It's super, super tricky, but I think I found a good solution. It's just that it's a question, where should that array be? So for example, what I want to do here, I would really like you to be able to say this is ABC, and you can click both of them. So both of them are active, and then you would have the ability to either insert a string or a number. So you would kind of choose one of them. But currently I'm saying that state values, they have, if we look at the typing, I'm saying that a value type, or maybe I should look here. So the type is one thing. It's like a string. I would really have to do this to allow it to activate multiple. And what an array means is this or this. It means or. Because in my experience doing state management, you rarely do this. I don't even know what it's named. When you do, for example, user and super user as a type. And the way I think about this is that that is not something you do on the fly when you define state values. That would rather be something you do when you define an actual type. So when you go into the type editor, it will be something you rather did here. So you would be able to add like a type, and then you could say, you would, for example, have user here. So you could say, okay, so I want this to be a user, and then you can add something more. And that would be like an and. But when you actually create the state value, there it's or. And the thing is, the point is that you shouldn't think about this. This should just feel natural in the visual tool, and it should just allow you to express what you're thinking. You shouldn't think about unions and typing and all this stuff. You just think about, these are my state values. This is what they are. Give me the code for it so I can consume it. Yeah, that's the goal of this thing. But I don't want to go into ORs yet. I'm going to add it. Should be string to choose multiple types. But what we want to be able to do is to identify this record. So now currently the base, let's see, the base type is the base type is an array, because you can have multiple base types. But that really makes sense. Maybe this shouldn't be the array, because that basically means, yeah, maybe that should be a single. I'm trying to reason about this. So I go in here, I create a record type, and then that becomes my, I don't have any possibility here to say or. So if I create yeah, because it's not here I want the or behavior. It's when I actually define the value, the state value, I want the or behavior. That's where it makes sense. Like I have a state value, it can be this or it can be this. You don't like define a type, like a base type that can be this or this. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So I think we should remove the array syntax on base type. And then let's see, when we define it here, set type, base type, there, it's actually, yeah, I think this makes more sense. Oh, base type, base type, base type. And then in our state editor, we can say base type is a record. Let's see, I guess something else broke here as well. Why did this break? What are you complaining about? The type. Oh. Sorry. Okay, cool. So now we have a record, which means we can say that the editor is of type. And this is the thing with typing. Like, there's not like unlimited types of editors, like visual editors. It's either a string, it's a number, it's true or false, it's null. Like you don't have undefined in state because it's not serializable. Because state should be serializable. You should be able to pass it from the server and back, and undefined doesn't really exist because it's not serializable. It just removes the value from the data. So in my experience, you want to operate with null and not undefined. And then you have like the base types. It needs to be like an object or it needs to be an array. where the object is a dictionary where all the values are the same, or it's a record where there are different kinds of values on the keys of the object. And then, yeah, as I said, you have a list and a sequence. Yeah, so like a record and a sequence is kind of the same. You have a set number of properties or items with specific types, while a dictionary is unlimited amount of keys, but it's the same type. And it's the same with a list. It's an unlimited amount of items, but they all have the same type. That's what you have to work with, and that's what you basically only need in state management. And that's the thing, like making that limitation of creating serializable state is what makes this work. If we were to introduce map, set, date, and all these class instances and all this kind of stuff, it wouldn't be possible to visualize it. So having that limitation is a really, really good thing, and it's all you need to manage state, really. Let's see. Record. Let's just try to record editor. What are you complaining? Oh, editor. So we have a record editor, and this gets like an object, and I think it kind of, yeah, let's just show the key here. Let's see if our name and age pops up here. Oh, I probably broke something again now. Let me, yeah, because now the type shouldn't be, let's remove this state. Let's remove it. So we'll add like a user, and we'll say it's a user. I was hoping it was going to, oh, sorry, it shouldn't be the, yeah, so we actually need the type here. Okay, so we do have the types here. So I think we should pass that down to the selected editor. So we can say type, types, type. Types. Oh, sorry, we have the type there. So we'll pass the type down as well, because that allows us to deal with thing. And we are going to say that type, state type. Was that the name? Type. Oh, god damn it. What did I call it? Value type. So we'll pass the value type there as well, which means that when we look at this, we should have a type here, and that should be, well, this should explicitly be a value type of like a record. It should be like this thing. Yeah, I think we have to create the explicit, like the name is a string, but, oh, sorry, we do have base type, sorry. Yeah, in this case, it's actually, this is what we're receiving. This is the base type. So, okay, let's just, we have to move these into their own things, but let's just make it work now. Because currently, I think this will be like, yeah. Okay, let's just make it work. I'll write any here because I need to change the typing. Change to set a base type. So we have a type here, and then this type, we don't want to iterate the actual values in the object. We want to iterate the type. That's the shape of the object. So we can say type, base type, what they would say it was, descriptor. type base type descriptor. So this should hold the keys for that thing. Let's see. That's weird. Where's our types? So we have base. Oh, it's still an array. That's weird. It shouldn't be an array. Let's delete the types and add it. Oh, maybe we didn't add it after we changed from array. That might be. Oh, come on. We don't have user here now? No. Okay, let's see now. Sorry. Oh, user. Let's add a record, a user, with a name and an age. Let's add that. Did it break? God damn it. Why am I not allowed to select that? Can't read property name of undefined. Okay, do we have it here? Type, name, user, base type, type, record, descriptor, name, string, age, number. Default value, empty object. So we have it. So why am I not able? Oh, there it worked. That's nice. Okay, so we do get them out now. And that means like this editor will now allow me to, like we know that the name is a string. So it will allow me to insert a string there. While age is a number, so I will get a number input here instead. And then you can like say, even here when I add something, foo, here you can also use like multiple types for that thing. So in the type here, let's make a note of that as well. This can also be array. Can choose multiple types. You can also choose multiple types. Exactly. Cool. Anyways, so yeah, we didn't get to work on our app today. I'll make sure that we implement this cleanup today, this cron job for the typing service, so it doesn't blow up. And yeah, this is like a side project I'm working on, like not that much, but I'm really inspired about this. And it doesn't, like now, it doesn't seem like it gives much value. Like, but you can just like install. So this is running with MobX, for example, but that's also the thing you can change out. So it could be view observables. You would have the same UI, but it will create view observables instead. Anyways, it doesn't seem like much, but I have this intuition that we have to, when we have such strong concepts around building something, we have to explore making it visual, because it makes it so much easier for people to take advantage of that concept. So state management is incredibly complex and it's difficult to learn it. But if you have a visual editor for it instead, it's much easier to learn it. And it gives us new possibilities. As I said, like you have the typing there, but it's behind like these visual editors. You don't have to learn TypeScript to use typing, for example. That's super powerful. And when you start composing together effects and stuff, we can start giving errors and more helpful ways to build up your app, because we know about the structure of everything and we can build that into the visual experience. And we can even do things like I add like an array of user users or a list of users. And then we can have like a button that says, okay, mock some data. And you just click that button and then it just fills that value with some mock data because you want to test something. So you can do all this kind of stuff. And this is just like scratching the surface of it. So yeah, I truly think it's worth exploring. But yeah, cool. We got a little bit further here. So I'll make sure I'll fix this so that you can actually insert a value here. That's going to be nice. Cool. I guess that's it for now. Thanks for following along. And tomorrow we should be back working on our actual app again. Oh, it's like every other day we get to work on the app. Anyways, bye for now. See you tomorrow.